Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee with Jen and Sharon.
Hi, everyone.
Jen, and this is my lovely co-host, Sharon. Hey, Sharon, I'm having tea today, and I'm actually, this is a tea that Sharon introduced me to, so I want to show you what I'm having. See which one it is?
Yes, the hot cinnamon spice. It's like, this sounds really bad, but if you could drink potpourri and it actually tasted good, that's what
You know, it's really true, because I had some of this the other day in the car, and my husband said, we were driving somewhere together, he says, it smells like potpourri in here. Am I imagining?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's true. This is like, Sharon introduced me to this tea. It's a loose tea, so you actually have to have one of those little things that the little tea ball you stick in there. It's worth the effort though. On a crisp November morning when there's a little dusting of snow on the ground, as we have today, this was the perfect thing. So thank you for introducing me to this tea.
Yeah, I have plain old tea, but it's delicious and warm, so I'll take it.
Yeah, it's good. So what are we talking about today, Sharon? Remind me.
Today we're walking down memory lane, which is a thing you do when you're only of a certain age. Although, you know what that reminds me of? When kids are about 6 or 7, and they'll tell you, when I was a little kid, I used to do XYZ. So maybe memory lane isn't just for us olds.
No, memory lane starts whenever you having memory.
I guess that's right. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah. So we had this question, I think, on our Facebook page about things that our kids don't get because of the little details of life that have changed.
Yeah.
And everyone had such fun answers, and our friend Jody put them together in an article, which is entertaining, about all those things that our kids don't get. I think Jessica's going to share it in the comments for us. Yeah. But did you have some favorites that came out of there, and some other ones too?
Definitely did. And I might even have contributed a couple that were the impetus for this article. But I'm going to start with, I brought my best friend from high school today. This is my best friend from high school.
Why do you have that?
Wait, hold on. There's a call coming through. Hold on, wait. This is what happens when you clean out your parents' house that they have lived in for 53 years. And my mom kept certain things around because our kids found them so hilarious and fun to play with. So this was something that had been in Grammy and Grandpa's basement as a toy for them to play with.
I could see it would be a huge hit.
Yeah, well, here's a couple things that my kids didn't understand. So this is, for those of you who didn't get a good view, this is a rotary dial phone, people, an actual rotary dial phone. And we asked our kids, do you know how to use this? And they were like, yeah, we know how. And they appropriately put the finger in, and they knew to do this. And they said, and that's how you would make the call. And we said, wrong.
They didn't pick up the phone.
First, you have to pick up the phone and listen for the dial tone. And see if your sister is on the phone, because she's always on the phone. And then you say, get off the phone. It's my turn to use the phone. That's how you use this phone. But here's the thing I feel really sad for today's youth. They'll never know the ultimate satisfaction of hanging up angrily on the phone. And it makes that ringing noise. It's so satisfying. And it doubles as a weapon. This is at least 15 pounds.
Well, we had the same phone, except that ours was avocado green. And
naturally.
I actually think this is the strangest thing. We don't have it anymore because my parents save everything, so they probably would have had it. I think it was rented from the phone company.
Yes, you had to get your phone from the phone company. Yes. My mother, I think, paid to have 2 phones. We had 2 phones left. She had beige, which I got, and the matte black phone, which my sister got, which she has in her house, like in a display on a table that was my parents' table, and it looks like right out of the movie Dial M for Murder. It's that phone.
Well, the black one is probably really sharp looking.
It's very sharp looking, although it was sticky, like it covered and it had started to. But here's the thing that kids really didn't understand was so important. It had to have a long, stretchy cord so that you could go in the basement, down the basement stairs, to talk to your friends away from your family.
And then if somebody else did get on the phone and you were the one on the phone, you have to say, who's on the phone. Hang
Yes.
up the phone.
Hang up the phone.
Listening. Someone else trying to listen to my conversation.
Yes. Yes. So Sharon and I both are youngest of 5, so we have similar memories of this. Yeah, it was a shared device. You did not have your own phone, children.
Well, we didn't have call waiting either, did you?
Oh, it was a big day in the Gray family household. When we got call waiting, it was a really big day. And the way my mom tells it is we had to get it because my sister Kathy was on the phone so often that her PTO, people or friends or whoever could never get through because it was a busy signal all the time because somebody was always on the phone, and it was likely Kathy.
You know what this reminds me of, and I didn't even have this on my list, but in the last month or two, I was reminded of phone trees. Do you remember phone trees? So if there was a snow day or something like that, there would be this whole grid.
Yeah.
I call 2 people and they call 2 people.
Yeah.
And
it's
that's
like a shampoo commercial, and they told 2 people, and they told 2 people.
Yeah, because we didn't have text messages.
Yeah.
And it also would take a while to get on the radio or maybe the local TV. I don't think it was on TV when you had a snow day. But
it was because we would sit glued to the TV waiting and waiting and waiting, and you had to look through. They would scroll the list, and it would take forever. And because I grew up in Shaker Heights, where we live, we had to wait through all the saints. All the saint this, saint that, saint the other, because we were after all the saints. And all the parochial schools would get the snow day, and then it would skip to like something with a T, and it'd be like, no, we didn't get the snow day. It was awful. Yeah, we got like 2 snow days my whole growing up time.
Times have changed. We found that it depends on where your superintendent is originally from. If you get one who lives here from the South, they'll call out for anything.
Yeah, exactly. Ours, I think, was from Massachusetts. He was like, no, having a snow day? That's nuts. Okay, so tell me something on your walk down memory lane list.
Well, I mean, I hate to make this all about phones, but I was also thinking about payphones.
That was a big part of our lives.
Yeah, and when somebody needed to get picked up, they were supposed to call from the payphone at school.
Mm-hmm.
And well, I don't know if I should reveal this, but my family was so frugal that the advice to one of the children in the family was to use the dime, because it was a dime then, not 20 cents yet. Use the dime, call, let it ring once, and hang up, because then you would get your money back in the payphone. The dime.
Yeah. Well, my kids don't believe me when I tell them this, but there's an expression that was called to drop the dime on somebody, which meant to rat them out. Because you would put a dime in the payphone to make the phone call to rat them out. So when you say you drop the dime on somebody, that's what that meant.
I did not know this.
Mm-hmm.
You learned something. All right. Should we get off payphones?
Yes. But let's stay on technology for a minute, because technology was a big part of our lives, even back then, children. You'll be surprised to hear this. But this was the best Christmas present I think I ever got. It's a Sony.
You have a Walkman?
I do. And it has a lot of features. It has on and off, and it has both AM and FM.
But no cassette player.
I got one of those later. That was actually really exciting. My dad had been on a business trip in Japan, and he bought a Sony Walkman with the cassette player.
That is exciting.
I mean, that was the be all end all. But this one,
how heavy those were?
Oh yeah, and this, I mean, I still have the headphones that go with
from your parents' house too?
Of course.
Okay.
And then still works.
I can hear it. It's like a museum at your house.
It's totally a museum at my house. And I have a sister, another sister, not the one who's always on the phone, the one who was less on the phone. But she and I love vintage appliances and such. So we had to scrap over this. Yeah. So that was how you did your music. You had to, like it had this really sweet little belt clip.
Oh yes, absolutely.
With this on, and this was my sisters had the transistor radios. Those were a big deal. This to me was much more chic.
Absolutely, with the headphones and everything, because the little transistor radios, you could just play the AM radio out loud with those.
Yeah, Exactly. Or like in between there was the boombox and you like had the big boombox on your shoulder that you could walk down the street with. Nothing cooler than that, right?
Well, don't forget how you filled these cassette players. You had maybe a subscription to BMG or Columbia House. Did you ever do that? 12 cassettes for 1 penny?
For a penny, right.
You only have to buy 3 more over the next year. Is that what it was?
Oh, it was whatever it was. This was like the first multi-level pyramid marketing scheme ever. And we all fell for it. We all belonged to the Columbia Record House. And I remember when, you know, it's a big deal when you commingle your record collection with your beloveds, when you first decide that it's permanent and you're going to move in and commingle your record collection. And I remember my husband going through my records and pulling the things out and going, did you mean to get this? Or was this the free one that came from Columbia House and you forgot to tell them you didn't want it? I refuse to answer that question on the grounds that it may incriminate my taste. Yeah.
Did you ever you must have had records in your house before that too.
Oh yeah, we had records.
Yeah, because you're the youngest like me.
Then tapes, then, you know, then we graduated to CDs.
I was still buying cassettes and my older brother said, you shouldn't buy cassettes anymore. CDs are going to replace them. I was like, I don't have a CD player and no, I'm not doing that. And who's right now? Because, well, not about the cassettes, but the CDs are pretty much gone too. Do you listen to CDs in your house?
You know what? I do. I still listen to our Christmas CDs. That's what we do. That's about the only time I ever use them. And even when I put them in, my kids would be like, no, you could just stream that on Apple or whatever. I'm like, I know, but it's already here and it's curated for me. And I'm happy. Like I remember those Firestone Christmas albums we used to get it. Why? They were Firestone Records put out a new Christmas album every year. And those were a big deal in our house. So, I mean, I kind of miss those. I wish that I need to get those somehow back in my life.
Firestone, like the tire company?
Yeah, they would put out a Christmas album every year, and it had like, you know, a different song by all these different recording artists. It was sort of like K-Tel Records, but it was sponsored by them.
I wonder if this is an Ohio thing because they're kind of a local company. Yeah, I never heard of these in New Jersey.
Yeah, well, it might also just be that I'm just that much older that they stopped doing
well, our viewers will have to tell us if they've ever heard of Firestone.
Yeah, let me know if I'm
Are you going to vote for Jen or are you going to vote for Sharon?
Yeah. Put it in the comments.
Which side do you want?
Speaking of, on the same topic, you know what this is, right?
Of course I know what that is.
What do you do with this?
A lot of things. Your math? Your Scantron sheets?
No.
What?
No, it's for when the tape comes out of your cassette tape.
Oh, we're still on tapes. Of course. Of course. Oh, I know what to do with that.
I
the little gear thing. The eraser end goes right in the gear, and you wind up your ooze tape, which is all tangled everywhere.
And you're in tears because you're, you know, I don't know which one of mine I would have been the most upset about, but probably, I don't know, Talking Heads or something. You know, the tape would come out.
As long as the tape was not ripped. Did you ever have that? That's the end of it.
Oh, I tried a few times to mend it with scotch
tape. Yeah, it doesn't really work.
It doesn't. No, didn't work. So, and speaking of math, yes, you might have used this, but I used this. This was my high-tech calculator.
How many props do you have in your bag of tricks?
This is the last one, I promise.
It's solar powered though. Remember when you got wasn't that a huge deal?
Yeah. No batteries needed, just solar power. Still works, maybe. Oh, well, yeah, it does. Still works.
Do you remember what happens if you type in? Let me think now.
I'll type it in if you remember it.
7, 7, 3, 4. You have it?
Yeah.
Now turn your calculator upside down.
Sharon.
What does it spell?
Hockey sticks.
Did you ever? Wasn't that a scandalous thing that happened when you were in elementary school?
Totally. And there's one that spells boobies, but I don't remember what it is.
Oh, I'm sure we could figure it out.
Somebody in the comments.
8s and 0s.
Yeah, we need to know what that number is so you can spell boobies on your calculator.
Well, Jen, I went to Catholic school. We always spelled hell. You know,
That was probably worse.
It was all religious and none of this booby stuff. It's all good, clean, religious fun and fear of eternal damnation. That's all it was.
Oh, totally. Yes. So, okay. Do you have one last one on your list?
Oh gosh, what should I pick on my list?
You could even pick 2 if you want. I'll be generous.
Well, this one is kind of funny that I had completely forgotten about. But did you write letters to your friends? Like actual letters? I knew that there were some letters that I wrote to friends, but some time ago I was cleaning out old sentimental boxes and I had all these boxes of letters, and some of them are letters from my family, and I just kept those because like my sister wrote to me when she was in college and I wrote to her when I was in college. But then I had over summer break during college friends.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They would send each other letters. I had no memory of these. There were a couple people.
Are they people you don't even know?
No, I have no memory of the letters, but some of them were kind of what I would have remembered these people to be kind of just acquaintances, and there were letters from them. So I guess we had like a pen pal relationship. It's just, I mean, I guess it was the same pretty much as sending an email would be now. Or being a Facebook friend with somebody, but it just seems so intimate to have these letters from people that I don't even really remember this relationship.
And I have letters that I typed on my typewriter to people too.
Wow, that's fancy.
I know. That was like something to do.
Was it like one of these typewriters or like a word processor? Remember that, where you could actually correct the mistakes before you printed it out?
I didn't have anything that fancy, Sharon. I had a Smith Corona typewriter that you had to put all of your upper body weight into hitting the keys.
Oh, yeah.
And if you made a mistake, you had to put the correction ribbon behind the key and retype it.
Oh, yeah. A little white plasticky thing. Yeah. Do you have any more to share with us?
I have no, I'm all tapped out. So you take another one.
Oh, dear. Another one.
Yeah.
Well, cameras. Oh, no, we won't go with cameras. Roller skating parties. Do you remember those?
Oh, I totally do. Those were so fun. I think you can. I mean, they still have roller rinks and maybe they're making a comeback, but those were super fun.
Well, and I do think that's actually something that our kids would love to do. Like, I don't care if you're a teenager or you're a 9-year-old. Roller skating to music is fun.
It is fun.
We should bring that one back.
The skates you can rent they've got 4 wheels on them, so they're really stable. It's not like trying to balance on an ice skate or even on a rollerblade. I mean, these things are like putting little mini trucks on your feet. So even if you just shuffle around, you're going to get around the rink without falling down. So that was what I liked about it. There was very, very little skill involved, and you could still have fun with your friends.
Well, I hope that everyone will share their memories with us, good and bad. And
absolutely, we want to hear about it. And also, you need to arbitrate for us on a couple of these things that we had some questions on. So we want to hear whether you're on Team Jen or Team Sharon on some of these. It's important that we find.
That's right. All right. Take care, everybody. We'll see
Enjoy and have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.